Thank you so much for staying with us. And as earlier mentioned, it's been, of course, a very, very exciting yesterday and today, as well as top KCSE performers in the 2024 KCSE really celebrate their victory. And Sunshine Secondary School in Nairobi has produced several top performers in the 2024 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations. Notably, Brian Mutua achieved straight A grades with a mean score of 84 points. Brian, thanks for joining us in studio. Good evening.
Good evening.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
You look very, very sharp, dapper in that suit. Let's begin by what does it feel like to be one of Kenya's top performers in the KCSE 2024?
It really feels great. You know, being here, I'm spoiled for choice because getting an 84 enables me to do any career that I want. Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to your journey in school, just going back to high school, and we were having a chat previously. What has your journey through school been like in terms of your performance? How have the last years of high school been like in terms of your performance?
When I first joined high school, I was at Machakos Secondary School. In my very first examination, I got a B+. But I continued working on my performance. And by the time I was leaving Machakos Secondary School, I had a B stand. But after joining Sunshine Secondary School, I met very amazing teachers, a very supportive administration, and I managed to better my performance. And in the last two consecutive exams, that's the pre-mock and the post-mock, I got A- grades consecutively.
So what prompted the move from Machakos to Sunshine?
Before I left Machakos School, I was a student leader in Machakos School, and it reached a point where I was almost having conflicts with several students over the leadership and some of the duties that I had to perform as a student leader.
Right.
So due to that, I opted to move to a place where I was going to be having a more conducive environment to study.
So already the leadership qualities were already in you. So let's talk about Sunshine and what strategies you adopted towards, of course, what has now borne fruit. Let's walk through that. It could be your study regime. It could be just what you really focused on. You've already told us about support from the administration in terms of your teachers at Sunshine, but what strategies personally as Brian did you adopt?
As Brian, I used to wake up very early in the morning. At school, you're supposed to be in class by 5 a.m. But I was personally at class every day at 4 a.m. I used to have a personal timetable that I used to strictly adhere to. During the breaks, I never went out. I used to stay back in class, study, and go to consultation more times because the one-on-one experiences with my teachers, my subject teachers, really impacted me with more knowledge and more question answering techniques.
Yeah. Yes. And are there any subjects that you found particularly challenging during this journey?
I first had a challenge in math, but my mathematics teacher, Mr. Bunge, coached me and made sure that I aced all the tests. Actually, in post-mock and pre-mock, I got straight A's in math.
Actually, this is the thing. A lot of young people, when a subject is challenging, they tend to shy away from that. So you say math was a challenge for you, and overcoming that was just, let's talk a little bit about that.
When I first realized that I had a challenge in math, I was almost giving up, but then I realized that it's a compulsory subject. It will be factored in my KCSE grade because they only pick mathematics and one language and 5 other best performed subjects.
Yeah.
So I realized that I really had to work on it. And now my teachers, actually the entire math department, not only my teacher, they all were there behind my back, supporting me, pushing me to work harder and harder. Actually, I could do a test and take it to any of the teachers and they will all mark without complaining. And some of them will actually call me and tell me, please don't make these mistakes, they can really cost you.
Wow.
And that has really helped.
So that support system, very important. Great. In terms of personal challenges while preparing for KCSE, Brian, did you encounter any of those? And how did you stay focused, if at all you encountered any challenges? Aside from now, the math that you've told us was a bit of a challenge.
As I was moving towards my KCSE, the only challenge I can say was maybe the tension that I was having and the fear of maybe not doing so well after working for 4 years in high school. But our teachers were there. They told us that actually it's not the end of life. And they told us we had really worked and we are going to be successful. We are going to make it in the exam. We should not be worried about anything. We're going to do great. So the teachers really helped me to ease the tension.
Yeah. Yes. You know, and you keep talking about your teachers. Good job, Sunshine teachers, for supporting this young man and all the other young men at Sunshine. So in terms of your future academic and career goals, let's get into that. After this remarkable performance, what are you looking at in terms of your future? Let's begin, first of all, with uni. What are your plans?
For university, actually right now, I'm really working towards getting a scholarship to maybe one of the Ivy League universities so that I get a medicine certificate that's acceptable all over the world. I'm planning on becoming one of the top doctors in the world.
Mm-hmm. Why medicine?
Since I was a child, I was actually intrigued on learning more and more about the human body and how to actually help people who are maybe suffering in hospitals, to get better.
Right, good stuff. Now, in terms of students who are preparing for their KCSE exams, Brian, what would you're a big brother now and, you know, an icon as well. You've done very, very well. What would you tell them about this journey, borrowing from your story?
It's really not a bed. It's not a path filled with roses where you'll just walk. There'll be ups and downs, but all through that, you just have to persevere, and you have to have a clear goal on what you want to achieve in the long run, and you have to just keep focused on that. And if you don't deviate your focus from that, you'll really make it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you get in any internal exam, even if it's the very last exam, let it not break your heart. Let it actually make you want to work harder and harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the Kenyan education system, how do you think it can better support students aiming for excellence, students who are perhaps going to be sitting for this year's exams? Let's talk about the Kenyan education system and how you think it can better support students.
In the current 844 system that I sat for, it's actually more of what you can remember, not more of what's gonna be impacting your life outside here. If we actually can be impacted on more skills that actually we come to utilize them outside here, like maybe in the competency-based curriculum. My brother is doing that. If I see him doing sports, going for swimming, and actually if he wants to be a swimmer, he's actually going to do that. In my case, if you want to be a swimmer, you still have to do physics, biology, and all that. And still, maybe you're not so good at that, and you'll have to be pushed and pushed and pushed because you'll be judged on what you get on your KCSE certificate. But you just want to be a professional swimmer, not actually use these outside there. So if we actually just get more and more trained on what we actually come to use outside here, it will be better.
Right, and you spoke about biology as we close being one of your favorite subjects. So, you know, let's talk about that and how you feel that will, of course, now serve as an advantage for you who hopes and aims to go the medicine way.
Biology is a science that deals more with the human body and generally all the living things that includes plants and all that. So I'll be having a better place to start from in my medicine career. That's if I get the chance to pursue it in the higher education level. So all the skills that have been impacted to me by the teachers and all that will actually come in handy, like observation. I'm taught I can comfortably use a microscope to observe things that will come in handy in a laboratory where I should have to maybe examine blood samples and all that.
Yeah. All right. Any words? I didn't hear a mention of your folks, Brian, and I know you're here with your mom as we close.
Yes, she's been my biggest supporter, my big fan, and also my father, though he's not here, and my brother, who's very much here, and my eldest cousin. They've been very much there for me through everything, through high school. They've come to every academic day, they visited me, and I really want to appreciate them.
Yeah. Brian Mutua, we are so proud of you. Your story is truly inspiring, and of course it shows that with hard work, discipline, and the right support system, you can achieve really much anything. So we thank you for finding time to come here on Citizen TV. We celebrate you for getting all A's. How many A's were those?
8 A's.
8 A's, guys. 8 A's in all the subjects. Congratulations. And a mean score of?
84 out of 84.
A mean score of 84 out of 84. Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you right here.
The pleasure's all been mine.
Thank you. All right, and after talking to Brian and being filled with all this brilliance, let's move on to other stories of the day. And mental health professionals